What is up, Tress Troop? It is Tress to Impress, and I am Biggity BACK back with another video. And today's video is another wet roller set tutorial where I am going to be showing you how I straighten my naturally curly type 3 and type 4 hair with rollers only. No flat irons, no relaxers, no heat damage. With your tips and my consistency, I have been perfecting this technique over the years, and I must say I am in love. This round was 100% a success. If you are still here, please go ahead and rate this video with a thumbs up or a thumbs down so that I can know if I need to keep giving you this type of content, and share this video with your top 3 curl friends. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Go ahead and share out this video with your curl friends because this is a good one. My results came out amazing, but they were different than ever before. So it's definitely worth the watch. And I'm going to give a little bit more details about the products that I'm using and when I'm using those products. Y'all know that I don't gatekeep on my products. I have always had a shopping list of my products to share with you guys, but in my videos I don't always give all of the details on how I'm using the products, so there's a little bit more of those details in this video, so stay tuned. Now I am starting on clean hair, so my hair is shampooed, conditioned, deep conditioned, steamed, all of the things. Okay, and this hair is actually wet, even though it does not really look like it in the video. So we're starting off with sectioning, and I'm using the same 4 sections that I always use, and you guys can see that I really was not even looking. I can pretty much part my 4 sections without looking at this point. I do check with the double mirror method to make sure that my parting is straight down the back of my head before I move on. So now I'm working with my very first roller section. You can see that I use my spray bottle. There's just water in that spray bottle. I super saturate my hair. That means the hair is so wet that it is dripping. Then I proceed with what I call smoothing, which is just further detangling my hair as far as I possibly can. So I start with a wide tooth comb, then move down to an afro comb, then I move down to a fine tooth comb, then I add my setting foam to my hair. And I continue smoothing the hair with hand manipulation and this soft bristle brush. Once the hair is smooth to my satisfaction, it feels soft in my hands, no tangles or anything, I go ahead and start adding my roller, smoothing my hair as best I can so that it's sticking to that roller, and then I add my end wrapping paper, making sure that wrapping paper is covering the ends of my hair, and then I roll the roller all the way up to my scalp. Now, it does appear that I'm moving very quickly, so I do want to mention before I go any further with this video that these clips are in 2x speed. If you are interested in seeing this process with the clips in real time, please refer to my previous video post. I have a 40-minute long video of this same footage that has not been altered. There are cuts, but the timing of the clips has not been altered. That video gives a more realistic visual, but it has no voiceover tutorial. This video is giving you more information about what I'm actually doing throughout the process. Okay, so back to the tutorial. I am clipping that roller in place. Let's go through all of the steps on one last roller before I move on from explaining this process. So first, super saturating the hair so that it's dripping wet, detangling the hair with my wide tooth comb, then my afro comb, then my fine tooth comb, in that order, y'all. I had to admire my curls for just a minute because they are back popping. If you've been with me for a minute, then you know that this hair used to be pretty much straight on the ends, and I have regenerated it. Now, adding the roller, adding the end wrapping paper over the ends of my hair, making sure that everything is nice and smooth and taut as I roll all the way up to my scalp, and then I secure in place with my metal clips. I like to clip at the root of my hair and clip in between the rollers. Now, when I turn to the side, you can see in between all of those rollers, you guys. So the roots are very smooth, straight, and they are going to dry in that state. If the hair is not smooth while it's wet, it's not going to be smooth when it dries. If the hair is frizzy at the roots and on the roller while they're wet, the hair is going to be even frizzier when it dries. So keep that in mind, y'all. If you're one of my curl friends who's in the comments and you're trying out this style and you're saying that you're failing, or you're saying that it's frizzy, it's not working out for you, just keep in mind that mine wasn't perfect when I first started either. Also keep in mind that you can practice installing the rollers only. You don't have to follow through with the entire drying process and then end up with a mess and you've wasted 3 hours of your life. You could practice installing the rollers, and if it's not looking smooth, if it's looking frizzy wet, then you could take it down, do another style or whatever have you. You don't have to waste the dry time hoping that it's going to magically straighten out somehow during the drying process, because that's not what's going to happen. This process is all about the foundation. If it is not smooth while it's wet, it's not going to dry smooth. That is the tip of the day. So if you are still watching at this point, I need you to drop down in the comments. If it's not smooth wet, it's not going to be smooth dry. Now, I did not give it a lot of attention while I was rolling it because I went off on a tangent. However, I do still want to reference it. I told you in the beginning of the video that I was going to show you how I straighten my type 3 and type 4 hair without flat irons. And the section that I just rolled in that crown section of my head is my type 4 hair. So pretty much everything that I have around the perimeters is more in a 3C, 4A range, but the crown section is definitely a solid 4A, 4B. I think it's a solid 4C, but the curl girls have been telling me it's definitely not a 4C. So we'll go with 4B, but it does not have a defined curl pattern, which is characteristic of type 4 hair, but it also does not shrink as tightly and as densely as some people's 4C hair does. So I can go with a 4B, but it's definitely a different texture of hair there, and that is my type 4 section of hair. So you could rewind the video a little bit if you want to have a closer look. I am so very proud of the state of my hair at this moment with my consistency, you guys. By consistently refusing the flat irons and all of the other hot tools, I have been able to grow my hair healthier, curlier. I'm recovering from the flat iron damage, from the postpartum hair loss. My ends, I still have some ends that need to be cut off that are remaining from the flat iron damage, but even those ends have gained more elasticity than they had previously. So I do not have straight hair on the ends of my head at this point. Some sections get a little bit looser texture, and that's where I can kind of tell that's where that damage is, but no more straight hair. I have come such a long way. If you are new here, I cut 7 inches of damaged hair off of the ends of my head. Over a 12-month period, I did wet roller sets consistently. So essentially, I was a straight natural, but without using flat irons. I did a wash and a wet roller set at least once per month. At the end of that 12-month period, I had grown back every inch of my hair. I am well past due for a length check video, so you should be expecting that soon. I was able to regrow 7 inches of my hair in a 12-month period using a holistic approach. Now, granted, everyone's growth rate is different. They can vary. But I had a successful growth journey, and I wanted to develop an experience where I could help you guys one-on-one with your hair growth journeys. So curl friends, if you are interested in partnering with me one-on-one to jumpstart your hair growth journey, then please make sure that you read the information down in the description box below so that you can learn how to sign up for that experience. Before I move on from this section of my head, I do want to point out that the side sections of my hair is always the longest sections of my hair. So I'm pretty sure you guys could relate to that, where you have a section of your hair that's a little bit more stubborn to grow, and then you have a section of your hair that is always longer than the other parts of your head. For me, that is my side sections. I normally pull hair from this section when I do my length checks as well. Once I move up to the very top roller of this section, I will be out of the type 3 hair and more into that type 4 section of my head again. The whole purpose of me even doing this routine that you guys love so much was for me to regrow super healthy hair. So now that my hair is curly again all the way down to the ends, please drop some hairstyles, some natural hairstyles that you guys would like to see me try that require curly hair. I would love to try a wash and go. However, that middle section of my hair is such a different texture from the rest. I don't know how it's gonna look, but if you guys would like to see me do a wash and go, I can try that out, or some twist outs or some braid outs. Y'all just let me know. I want to share with you the content that you appreciate the most. However, I don't really see the point of me getting rid of my flat iron damaged hair only to keep wearing my hair straight consistently. You know, like, it really wouldn't matter if my ends were straight if I'm going to be a straight natural. So now that my ends are curly, I would love to try out some natural hairstyles, some wash and goes or twist outs. Now, if you're not interested in that, then I will continue to do that on my own free time and not waste y'all's time on this app, okay? The next two things that I'm going to point out, I'm pretty sure most of my ride or die curl friends and members of the Tress troop have already scoped out, and that is number one, I am rolling my side rollers upward instead of downward on this round. Now, this is not something new that I'm just trying out. I have done this before, even on recorded videos that I've posted here. So feel free to go through my roller set playlist and you can check it out. The last time that I used this size rollers, these are gray rollers, 2-inch diameter. I rolled the sides of my head up. I did not like the way that my sides came out super flat and the top was super high. So I stopped doing it. However, I did not really get those same results this time for whatever reason. In addition to rolling my hair upward, I am also not using the snap-on covers. So the snap-on covers help to smooth out my roots, and I don't have them in this case to fit this size roller. So if any of y'all know a source where I could get the 2-inch diameter rollers with the snap-on covers, I would love to tap in. So let me know. The rollers that I have with the snap-on covers are just too small for me to dry in a decent amount of time. So I had to up the size of my rollers so I can dry in decent timing. And yeah, I can't find these rollers with the snap-on covers in this size. My hair has gotten so long to the point where it would take me a longer dry time to use the smaller rollers, and your girl is not here for it. So this is my full head on the rollers, and you can see that it's pretty neat and smooth. I do add a heat protectant before I go under the hooded dryer. Now, I'm setting my hooded dryer to medium temperature, and I'm setting it for an hour. And I do the hour twice because the hour is the highest preset timing that I can set on this dryer. The heat protectant I use protects up to 450 degrees. This dryer on medium setting is not getting anywhere near 450 degrees. I'm just using it to be safe. It just is what it is. Now, let's watch this curl fall off the bone. And yes, I need to trim my ends, and that's my business, so let me mind my business. You should be expecting a little haircut soon. But that was it for me. The hair is dry exactly how I needed it in the 2-hour time. Now, if you'll remember my last roller set with the smaller rollers and the snap-on covers, my hair was not dry in this timing. That is because my hair length has gotten longer. Remember when I first started using those, I had cut my hair 7 inches shorter. So it was drying a lot better. So the larger roller you use, the fewer times your longer hair will be layered over the roller and the faster the hair can dry. So now you can see that I am taking out the rollers and the hair is looking good. It's looking shiny. It's looking healthy. It's looking full. You can see texture at the roots, but don't panic. I had some of my curl friends telling me that those waves at the root meant that my hair was wet. No. My hair is 100% dry in this video, but because my hair had less tension at the roots with no snap-on covers, then this is what I ended up with. Now I'm doing a little length check. Ooh, look at the length check. Past my boob, so that's past bra strap length. Okay, period. And y'all know I had cut my hair up to a little bit past shoulder length, so that's a lot of hair. Now, look at the bounce of these curls. This is what you want. When the curl springs back into action, it is 100% dry. It's not falling, it's not freezing, it's not overly shrinking smaller. It is shrinking a little bit, and what I have found is that because my hair has so much more elasticity naturally now than it did when it was heat damaged, the curls do draw up just a little bit, and my results are not quite as straight as they were about a year ago. At this point, curl friends, I was just showing out for the camera, okay? If you have more questions about knowing when your hair is completely dry, I do have a video with tips about eliminating frizz and knowing when your hair is completely dry. So please check out my roller set playlist. You just go to my page, scroll over to playlist, click that, and there is a playlist that's just for roller sets only that you can watch. Now the hair is just so silky, I cannot take it. And you can see that there's still some texture at the roots, and there's nothing wrong with that, at least not for me. If you're trying out the style and you don't like the texture at the roots, by all means, straighten it out. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not that deep. I personally leave it because I'm recovering from flat iron damage. Now I'm adding my silkening serum to my hair, a very small amount, and I am combing out my hair with my wide tooth comb. I'm going to follow that up with my paddle brush so that I can wrap my hair to go back up under the hooded dryer. The purpose of that is to attempt to get a straighter result. Now, what you are about to witness may possibly blow your mind because I know it blew mine. Honestly, while I was filming, I didn't even realize as much as I realize now in the editing process how absolutely epic this hair looked once I brushed it out with the paddle brush. Look at that. Look at the hair. It just turned into silk waves. It looks like I've taken the wrap down. So honestly, I should have stopped here. That's what I should have done, curl friends. I should have stopped here. I should have maybe taken my pencil flat iron to the part section only right here and called it a day. Let it do what it do. But I wanted, since I was filming, I wanted to follow through with the process. Some of the curl friends have been asking for wrapping hair tips, so hopefully I will bring you those soon. But for now, you can watch me wrap. As you can see, I'm using small sections at a time, wrapping them over. I'm using my paddle brush, making sure everything is smooth every step along the way. And I like to wrap my hair clockwise around my head. Whichever way you like for your part to fall or your bang to fall is the direction that you should wrap. Now, if you've been here before, you know what's next. I am about to take this plastic wrap and wrap my head. Yes, I am. It helps to lock everything in. I don't know why it works. It just works. I saw a licensed cosmetologist do it. It was on a silk press, so it was a little bit different. But she did it and it worked, and I did it and it worked. So I'm doing it. and hoping that it's going to work. I go back up under my hooded dryer and it is still on the medium setting. This is not to dry my hair farther. My hair was already dry before I wrapped it. So I was only under there for a few minutes. Now it's time to take the plastic off. Now normally that step gives me silkier results. Immediately, it was not giving what it normally gives. It was giving waste of time. My hair is actually fuller. It actually has more volume, if you'll look closely, than it did before I wrapped it and went under the dryer, which is very unusual, very atypical. So I may cut that out of my routine henceforth. The hair was bomb before I wrapped it. Rewind, freeze the frame, pause it, and let me know. Let me know what your thoughts down in the comments. I really should have left it alone. I should not have wrapped it, but I was trying to trust the process. So it is what it is. But now I'm just going to play around with the hair a little bit and try to figure out like where is the happy place without adding any direct heat, right? So I like my part to be above my little cowlick area because it makes my hairline look a lot fuller than if I actually part in that cowlick. It just looks like a big long bald spot. So when I do my part, I like to lay my hair down with my smooth bristle brush and some hairspray. Now it does help to just use a pencil flat iron, I think, in the part section, which I have done before, but here I use absolutely nothing. Now I had the bright idea to kind of go with these waves that were naturally forming, but I also wanted to tame it a little bit and like bring the volume and the frizz down a little bit. So I had the bright idea to clip the waves in place to help set them and use a few layers of hairspray to also help to set the hair. So that's pretty much what I'm doing now. I'm playing around with the hair, trying to find out where the waves are naturally set into the hair. I'm not creating waves that are not already there. I use the wrapping papers on the top clips because I don't have those flat clips that don't make a dent in the hair, and I did not want a dent to form on those very top layers. I've seen stylists use this method. I've seen stylists use playing cards. I've seen stylists use the actual clips that are flat. Now, I only showed one layer of the hairspray on screen, but I did let that dry, and I did maybe like 3 layers of hairspray. And these are the results. Just wait for it. I'm taking the clips out now and look at those results. I ended up adding the little curl in the front. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.